What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel and happy 2025. It is officially the year of our Lord 2025. Kind of crazy. Seems like 2024 just kind of went by as fast as it could. But here we are. So, I just got back from a vacation in Montana. Spent some time up in the mountains. It was really great over the new year. And now I'm getting ready in about a week and a half, and I'm going to be going to NAMM. So, definitely going to do some NAMM content while I'm out there, you know, kind of like I did last year. So, keep an eye out for that coming up soon. But today, I figured a good way to kind of start the year would just be to do a guitar count, right? We're going to go through my guitar collection, and I'm going to show you everything that I currently have in my collection. So, let's get started. I guess we'll start with the only bass that I have. Go ahead and get the big bass out of the way. So this is a PVT-20, and honestly, I don't really know a whole lot about these, if I'm being honest. I don't know a ton about these. I think kind of one of the cool things about these basses, and the guitars too, like the T60s and stuff like that, is that they're some of the very first CNC machined guitars. Like, they're real thick, they're kind of heavy. You know, they were made in the US, but they weren't super expensive or anything like that. But this is the bass. I have a video from a little while back about how I got this bass and another guitar that we'll look at here in just a second. A really good friend of mine passed away a few years ago, and he had a pretty extensive guitar and amp collection, and his family let a bunch of his friends kind of, you know, come in and go through his collection and like pick some pieces that we wanted. So it was a really cool thing, and this is one of the things I wound up taking. You know, it was really good to kind of see his gear go to, you know, all of his friends and stuff, and not just kind of get lost in a storage unit somewhere or something like that, you know. So, you know, we made the best out of a bad situation, right? But this was my buddy Thomas's bass, and now it's mine. And like I said, it is the only bass I have at the moment. I've had other basses, but I'm not really like playing bass with anybody right now, and for like writing and just demoing stuff out, this totally covers it. Sounds really good. You know, it's very like P bass-ish, sort of. So that's my bass. Alright, the other guitar that I got out of my buddy Thomas's collection was this really cool like Squier Jazzmaster that he put a conversion aluminum neck on. And I have a demo of this guitar on the channel. If you want to hear what it sounds like, go check it out. So this guitar has a aluminum neck on it that converted the scale length from its original 25.5 inches to 28 inches. So pretty long baritone scale. And I have this tuned down. I'm not sure what I got it in right now. I think it's in like G or F sharp, something like that. Cool thing about this neck being aluminum, and it has stainless steel frets and locking tuners on it, and I'm assuming an aluminum nut, is like this neck will never move. It doesn't need a truss rod. It's like totally flat. It'll never shift or anything, right? Like, so for tuning down real low, it just has like a ton of stability, and it's surprisingly comfortable to play. It's really thin too, which I like. So, you know, the single coils, the Jazzmaster pickups tuned down that low, they do a thing. Like, you know, everybody knows about the 30-inch Squier baritones and some of the other companies that have made those style guitars. And like these pickups, I don't know what it is. These pickups tuned down that low, like, totally do a thing. So that is my aluminum neck modified Squier Jazzmaster. Okay, so this guitar is kind of been in the background of the channel for a long time, and I don't think I've made a dedicated video about this guitar. So that will probably be on my 2025 to-do list, is to make a dedicated video about this guitar. This is my custom-built 7-string baritone. When I say custom-built, I mean I built it. And this was back in the day when I was really into 7-string stuff, and like I was in a deathcore band, and you know, it was just like Chug City all the time, right? So I was in luthier school and I wanted to build a guitar that would really do that thing, and this is what I built. And it's super rad. I just don't play it a whole lot anymore, but I mean, I'm never going to get rid of it, obviously, because like it's my guitar, I built it, you know. And it just looks so cool, and I wish I used it more, but none of the bands I play in, you know, do anything like this, so, you know, is what it is. But it's a beast. 27-inch scale length, except 7-string, 1 Seymour Duncan blackout active pickup, because when you build a guitar like this, I mean, that's all you need. That's all you're going to be doing anyway, right? Like, who needs tone knobs and neck pickups on something like this, right? Like, it's just Riff City. So that is my custom built by me baritone 7-string. Okay, so this guitar is my MGB cigar box guitar that Mike from MGB built me. And I made a video about this guitar, and I made a demo with it, and I thought it was super rad. And I mean, just look at it. Like, does this look like any kind of cigar box guitar you've ever seen before? Like, this is such a cool guitar. It has one of his custom wound, like, mini humbucker style pickups in it. And I need to do some more stuff with this. So we might try and do some kind of project with this year, or use this on something, because I think it's a super neat guitar. And if you're into, if you kind of want to get into building guitars, MGB is a really cool place to start, because he sells like templates and kits and stuff, and pickup kits and everything like that you need to, like, kind of, you know, this is a really good entry point into the world of guitar building. It can really get you, you know, comfortable with, like, soldering, you know, because you're not doing, like, super intricate soldering jobs, like on a, you know, like a Strat or something or whatever, right? You can kind of build a guitar like this and practice learning those skills and come out with a really cool, good sounding guitar. Like, I'm super blown away by this thing. It's just such a cool instrument. So that is my MGB cigar box guitar. I should note real quick that I do have another cigar box guitar, but it's currently not working, and I've got it somewhere else. I got to do some work on it, replace the input jack. So that guitar was built by somebody I met at the MGB exhibit that I went to a few years ago, Logan, and it's a really cool guitar. And I've actually used it live before, which was super cool, but the input jack died out on it, and I've got to fix it, so it's not here. But maybe I'll do a video, once I get that fixed, maybe I'll do a video with both of those and kind of, you know, do something like that. Moving on, this is my, I'm not entirely sure the date. I think it's like early 70s from what I could find online. Epiphone acoustic guitar. The model number is FT130 Caballero. That's what it says on the label inside. Sure, okay. Really unique acoustic guitar for a bunch of reasons. And I wind up using this live way more than you think I would. I got this guitar for like $300. It was not very expensive at all, but it just has such a cool sound to it. I don't even know if it's tuned or not. I got it in DADGAD. Yeah, this guitar has a really cool sound. And I think the factors that kind of contribute to that are you have this like metal bridge insert that the saddle is setting in, which is kind of odd. Then you have a 0 fret, which is kind of random. And then the most random thing of all is it has a bolt-on neck. And it is made in Japan, but it has a bolt-on neck. I mean, how many acoustic guitars have you seen with a bolt-on neck, right? So when I saw this guitar in a music store in Birmingham, I picked it up and played it, and I thought it just had such an interesting tone to it. It was very bright and like tinny, but in a good way, not in like ear piercing kind of way, just like in a really nice present way. And the way I like to play acoustic guitar, strumming and stuff, it just really, I use it in kind of like lower, like, you know, open tunings and stuff sometimes too, like this, like Dadgad. It's just really present in the mix, and I've used this live a bunch, and it sounds great. And it has a little Fender acoustic guitar pickup in the sound hole, and it just does what I need it to do. Yeah, so that is my 1970s-ish Epiphone acoustic. Alright, my 1961 Gibson LG1. This is a really cool guitar. My granddad gave me this guitar. It's sort of in Dadgad. Not really. It needs 2 strings. Yeah, I love this guitar. It sounds awesome when it has new strings and it's tuned up. And it plays great too. But being that it is such a sentimental instrument to me, my granddad gave it to me. And my dad bought this guitar for my granddad, and then my granddad gave it to me years and years and years later, right? I don't really like to take this guitar out of the house too much, you know, unless it's just like going over to a family member's house or a friend's house and kind of hanging out and playing. I might take it then. But as far as like taking it to bars and clubs and gigs and stuff, I'm just not really comfortable doing that. It has like a little crack up here that's been repaired. And, you know, to me, it's just not really worth the risk, you know. It's not the most expensive guitar in the world, by any means, but it's not about that. It's just about it getting broken or lost or stolen or something, and the sentimental value of this guitar can never be replaced. So I'm just not really comfortable taking it out and gigging it a whole lot. So it kind of just stays in the studio. I pick it up and write on it occasionally. I might use it to record something with. But that's about all the use this guy really gets. But he's put his time in. He's an old man, and he doesn't mind retirement. So, you know, yeah, 1961 Gibson LG1. Okay. Now, everybody that knows me and knows the channel here, you know, the Wall of Paul, as it's been called before, right? The Paul Wall, if you will. But a few months ago, I bought something, and I just haven't had the chance to make a dedicated video about it. So this will also be on the 2025 to-do list, is to make a dedicated video about this. My 1999 Japanese Telecaster Custom. So I joined a cover band months ago, and pretty like wide range of cover tunes, right? And just toting Les Pauls around to the gigs wasn't really cutting it. I needed something else. You know, we do like some 80s stuff, some pop stuff, and I just needed something else. And if you've seen any of my videos in the past, especially my videos about Stratocasters, you kind of know my feelings about Stratocasters. I love them. I love how they sound when other people play them, but me and Strats just don't get along that well. You know, the pickup switch is in the wrong place, the knobs are in the wrong place. Like, I'm just so used to Les Pauls and how they're laid out with their pickup switch and their knobs and everything. Like my muscle memory, just if I'm playing a Strat, I do this and nothing happens because the pickup selector switch is not up there, right? It just is what it is. My muscle memory is so tuned in. So, when I was thinking, what am I going to buy that's not a Les Paul style guitar? I really want a Telecaster. I like Tellies. But I'm going to have that same problem. And then I remembered this. The Telecaster Custom. So, as you can see, it has a Les Paul layout. The pickup selector switch is up here. It's got 4 knobs down here, 2 volumes, 2 tones. And, yeah. I was like, that has the best chance of being the perfect Telecaster for me. So, I bought it, and I've been using it live a lot, and I really love this guitar. So, I will make a dedicated video about this guitar eventually, because I had to do a ton of modifications to it to kind of dial it in how I like, you know. Plus, I kind of had to just discover what I wanted out of a Telecaster, because I've only owned one other Telecaster, and it was like 20 years ago, and, you know, I was like a teenager, so, you know, didn't really know what I wanted or anything out of a Telly at that time, so definitely will make a dedicated video about this and kind of go over all the modifications and how I came to the conclusion of what I needed to do and why I needed to do it and all that stuff. So, 1999 Japanese Fender Telecaster Custom. Alright, you guys have seen this guitar on the channel a good bit. This is my 2004 Les Paul Standard. And, man, it looks super flamey on camera. Like, it really does, but in person it doesn't look like that at all, I promise. It looks like a really plain top in person, but when the camera and the light hit it just right, it really does have a nice flame on it. This guitar has a cool story. I got a video all about it. I bought this guitar in Brunswick, Georgia while I was out playing some shows, and just walked into a music store, picked it up, fell in love with it, and it was my main live guitar for pretty much that whole year. I bought it in February of like 2022, I think. And this was my main live guitar that whole year. And it kind of took a back seat to some other things, you know. And I even had it up for sale for a little while. And no one pulled the trigger on it. And I'm kind of glad they didn't. Because I pulled it down, I set it back up, I started playing it again, and I really like this guitar, and I'm just going to hang on to it. You know, maybe not forever, who knows, right? Like, it's a cool guitar. Maybe not forever. If something else comes across my path, you know, and I want to try it out and I got an opportunity to flip this, who knows? But at the moment, I'm not proactively looking for anything, and this is a great guitar to have in the arsenal. Sounds good, plays really good, and, I mean, if you're going to be a Les Paul fan, you got to have some kind of burst, right? Either a cherry burst or a tobacco sunburst, so I like the tobacco burst with the cream pickups and the, you know, binding and the rings and everything. So, for now, we're going to hang on to this guy. 2004 Gibson Les Paul Standard. Alright. Anybody that's watched my channel knows about this guitar. This is my first Gibson Les Paul ever. I got this guitar when I was 17. And it is a 2001 deluxe reissue. And as you can see, the mini humbuckers have long been gone. I routed this thing out about 10 years ago maybe, and put full-size humbuckers in it. I tried for years, you know, when you're 17 and you get a guitar like this, you're kind of hesitant to just start cutting into it and all this stuff, right? So I tried the other kinds of pickups, took the mini humbuckers out, put like double stack P90s in it. I had an EMG, like shaped, like P90 shaped EMGs at one point in this thing, which were really goofy pickups and I didn't like them. But, you know, eventually just went ahead and decided, you know what, we're going to route it out. We're going to put full-size humbuckers in it. And ever since I did that, this guitar has probably been my main recording guitar over every project I've done in the past 10 years. It just wins in the studio all the time. There's nothing special about it. It's not a custom shop or anything like that. It's just a really thick, really heavy Gibson Les Paul with some super hot humbuckers in it. And it just screams. And you know, I give everybody a fair chance in the studio. I do. I give everybody a fair shot. I sit down with all my guitars and I play them in the studio, and 95% of the time, for rhythm guitars especially, this guy just winds up on top. Maybe it's because he weighs like 12 and a half pounds. I don't know. He's a thick boy. He got some weight, but you can see this guitar has been through it with me. I mean, I've played, I don't know how many shows I've played with this guitar. It's got to be in the thousands. It has to. I've played a lot of shows with this guitar. It's been all over the country with me. And yeah, this guitar will just always have a special place in my heart because it was my first Gibson Les Paul. And you guys know how big of a Gibson Les Paul fanboy I am. So this was it. 2001 Deluxe reissue. So I have a story on the channel about how I got this guitar and everything. It's a really cool story. So if you're into that kind of stuff, go find that video and check it out. Alright. You've seen this guitar. This is my 2023 made-to-measure Murphy Lab custom shop. You know, all of the things, right? Made-to-measure Murphy Lab custom shop. Light Relic Age Gibson Les Paul custom. Silverburst. So, the short, kind of condensed story of this goes, I bought one of the Adam Jones 1979 Epiphones with the Gibson headstock. And I liked that guitar so much, I was just like, man, I just want a real custom shop Gibson Les Paul custom Silverburst. I just want one. And I found this one, got a really good deal on it, and yeah, so I've got a couple videos about this guitar on the channel, so check that out. Yeah, just, you know, big Adam Jones fan, big Tool fan, always wanted a Silverburst, and just decided to go ahead and, you know, buy once, cry once, right? Well, for me, it wasn't buy one, cry once. It was, I bought, like, when the Adam Jones Epiphones first came out, I bought the, what was it, the Vela Bees? That was the first one. I bought one of those, and it was cool, and I liked it. And then they came out with the 1979 version with, like, the Gibson headstock and didn't have the art on the back. And I was like, man, I like that better. Bought that one, sold the Vela Bees, and then I was like, I really just want an actual custom shop Silverburst. So I bought this and sold that one. So I bought 3 guitars to get to the one I really wanted, but you know, it'd be like that sometimes. I was a little hesitant to just spend this much money on a guitar, but I wound up doing it anyway, plus 2 other guitars. So, you know, you live and you learn, right? 2023 made-to-measure Murphy Lab Silverburst Les Paul Custom. Alright guys, and last but certainly not least, I had to save him for last. Everybody knows this guitar right here is my just absolute dream guitar. This is my 1987 Gibson Les Paul Custom in 1987 it was Alpine White. It's not Alpine White anymore. And this guitar has such a cool story. And I have a whole video about the story of this guitar and how I got it on my channel. So check that out. Yeah, I always wanted a white Gibson Les Paul Custom. The first Les Paul I ever got. Notice, talking about the black deluxe, I said it was the first Gibson Les Paul I ever got. Because the first Les Paul I ever got was a white Epiphone Les Paul Custom. And I loved that guitar. and it got stolen from me, slash misplaced at a gig, slash someone picked it up and walked off with it, slash I don't know. I took it to a gig one day and I never saw it again. So ever since then, I'd always wanted another white custom, and I wanted an old one. You know, there's so many bands and guitar players that have used white customs, and I just kept seeing them as I was a kid and as I was growing up and stuff, and I always wanted a white custom. And when I bought this one, I didn't even know, I knew it was a 1987, but I didn't know that the serial number was 3 days away from my actual birthday. So it's almost a birth year guitar. Almost. 3 days off. But you know what? Close enough for me. So, yeah, this was a dream guitar for me, and I play this guitar live all the time. It's probably it's one of my main live gigging guitars. This, the Silver Burst, and the Telly, these days are my main live gigging guitars. Just depending on what band I'm gigging with, you know, what tuning I need to be in, etc. But this guy gets a lot of playtime. And, you know, it's got a little love on it. I didn't do that, but somebody did. And that's the thing about these kind of guitars, these old guitars like this. When you find a guitar that's this beat up and this played and has all the clear coat played off the neck and it's had stickers on it, you can see where there's like an outline here. Somebody had stickers on it and all this belt buckle rash. Somebody loved this guitar, and they played it all the time. And when I got it, I could see why. You know what I mean? I could definitely see why. So that is it. My 1987 Gibson Les Paul Custom, and that is my entire guitar collection, minus one guitar that I don't have with me because it's got to have some work done. My other Cigar Box guitar. But that's it. So, thank you guys for tuning into the video. Let me know in the comments if you have any goals moving forward into 2025. Gear goals, guitar goals, what you're looking to purchase. You know, I got a couple of things I'm eyeing. So we'll see, you know. But, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Happy New Year. Hope you have an awesome 2025. Hope you had a fantastic holiday season, and hope you had a fantastic 2024. And I'll be taking you guys to NAMM in about 2 weeks, and we will definitely make some cool NAMM content, and we'll look at some new guitars and some new gear that's coming out. So, thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.